Day 9 of my fasting journal. I lost a couple of days because I needed to be orientated in this school, which is more like a college. First day was orientation, and then the second day was first day really of introduction into the classes. Today's the second day. I'm feeling much better than yesterday. All my experience is on my IGTV at the Millennial Body Worker. Go check me out there. But I've got this book, We're Back, and I find that this passage very much reminds me of something else apart from the fast. So I wanted to share this with you. Fasting in the Gospel. At first sight, it might seem that the early Christian practice of fasting could not be based on Christ's word and example. To be sure, Christ fasted for 40 days and 40 nights in the desert, but to many of his contemporaries, he appeared to be a glutton and a drunkard, because he did not hesitate to eat with tax collectors and sinners. He was asked why the disciples of the Pharisees and disciples of John fast often and offer prayers, while his disciples did not. Did St. Paul and the early church in fact misunderstand Christ? By no means, for Christ did not reject fasting any more than he rejected prayer or almsgiving. In all these religious practices, he warned his disciples against every sort of hypocrisy and self-display. And when you fast, do not look dismal like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces, that their fasting may be seen by men. Truly, I say to you, they have received their reward. But when you fast, anoint your head and wash your face, that your fasting may not be seen by men, but by your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. So the disciples are to fast, and they are to do solely for God's sake, not in order to be seen and praised. The same goes for prayer and almsgiving, and ultimately for the practice of all the virtues. So that goes back to what I was saying in the previous video on Ramadan and how it's always announced. It's always going to be announced because we're a Muslim country, and uh, Ramadan is a big thing for the Muslims, but it's just as much of a big thing for the non-Muslims who look Malay, because then this is when we're going to get criticized and judged. And even actually, you know what, even if we don't look Malay, we're probably going to be criticized for eating. It's announced on the radio, look at us, we're fasting, please be considerate, please be considerate, please be considerate. And we get that a lot. But to step away from religion for a while, veganism, we get that a lot as well. Here's what I mean. So, for example, I really don't talk to people or tell people that I'm vegan, because it's not only just the questions. I feel like people get offended. If I were to say, for example, during a buffet or a meal, I'm not going to have the meat or the chicken or whatever, I don't eat dairy products, people are going to go, why? Because I'm vegan. Why? And then it goes into the many questions that vegans commonly get asked, like, where are you going to get your protein from? You're not looking very healthy. It's not going to work for the long run, all that kind of stuff, which again, for so many years was the question. And now people are really getting into veganism because they can obviously see that all of us vegans haven't died yet. But it goes to the same with fasting. For example, here in this college, the weird rule is that, okay, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's all buffet, and there's tea as well in between, so there's a lot of food. And you have to sit in the same spot every single meal of every day for the 7 days that you're here. Like, what? So that means that I can't really hang out with anybody else. That means that, like, if I'm going to sit, I'm just going to have to sit and hang out with the same people on the table. But there's so many people. And here, there's a lot of people. I think there's very easily 50 students right now in this particular college. and we're all claiming to eat at the same time, all but myself. So I sit there for the first day because like, even though I kind of really wasn't hungry and I was kind of hoping to do 48 hours, but never mind, 24 hours, I decided to go and sit because I wanted to save my seat for whatever, just following the rules. And I had to tell people I was sitting with that you may not see me for most of the meals, because I won't be eating. Once in a while, you will see me either once a day or every other day. And they're like, why? And I'm like, well, because I'm fasting. Why? It's my own personal thing. Why? Isn't it unhealthy, dry fasting? You're not even drinking any water. How long are you going to sustain this for? This is not very healthy. And it's the same as being vegan. It is exactly the same. So it's sometimes I just like to just keep it quiet and just not say anything. I just want to just do my own thing, mind my own business. I'm just going to mind my own business. And I love my friends, my Muslim friends who mind their own business, especially during fasting. I love you guys. I really do love you guys. Because then you've got these other people who are always announcing, and it's just as bad being vegan. I get people who are like, what, you're vegan? Oh wow, you're really cool. Yeah, because there's assholic vegans out there who are just, they need to impose their belief systems onto other people, and they need to showcase to everyone, I am vegan. Vegan coming into the room. And there are just as many annoying, rude Muslims or annoying, rude Christian Catholics or out there as there are good religious people out there. And I'm coming to see that now. And going back to how I started, like, where I never really liked to tell anybody I was Catholic or I was born Catholic, or, I didn't want to be seen as a religious person or a spiritual person. But I think that it doesn't really matter. I think that there's going to be just, no matter what religion or what belief system, there's always going to be an asshole in there that's just going to taint the name of everybody else in their own belief system. It is, as I'm going to just go back to what that book was saying. You're fasting, but when you fast, or even when you're a vegan, or whatever your belief system is, anoint your head and wash your face, that your beliefs, just slash it like fasting, your beliefs may not be seen by men, but by your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. So it doesn't have to be just fasting. It can be just your belief system. Whatever it is, I do believe it is between you and God. Again, that it seems to be the go around circle lesson here. And I hope that it spreads that, like, this is, whatever it is between you and God. Don't judge people, don't criticize them, don't offend them, don't, even more crazier is, don't get offended. I don't know. Sometimes I see meat eaters get superbly offended that I'm not eating vegetables. It's like, but that's my beliefs and this is my body, and this has really nothing to do with you, whether I just want to eat broccoli or not. But it's the same. It's like, if I'm fasting, that has nothing to do with you. I didn't mean to offend you. I don't know why you're getting offended that I'm actually fasting, out of just purely my own personal journey. But people are like that. And I find it superbly strange. But I hope that it grows, and I hope that there is this understanding and being kind. Going back to just being kind, everyone. Anyway, I'm going to see if this uploads into this 4G. This takes forever, but let's hope. Ciao.